All right, welcome, welcome to Good to Geek Out, where it's a good place to geek out. If that's what you want to do. Editor, San Antonio, Texas. We'll be covering JL Dark Apocalypse today.
Yeah, good to be here on Good to Geek Out. JL, if you don't know out there in Geekland, Justice League. Justice League Dark Apocalypse War is what we're getting into today. Spoilers ahead. Glad to have our special guest, Ty, here. I've known him for years. Fellow geeks. Love to get some outside opinion. So let's hear what Ty has to say. And if anybody wants to chime in, like, comment, subscribe, and let's get to geeking out. How are you doing, Ty?
Doing great, doing great. Thanks for having me on this journey. You know, I feel like it's just another conversation, many of which we've had over the last 20 to 30 years.
True nothing.
Very easy, free flowing here. Coming to you guys from Las Vegas, where it's already hot as apocalypse.
No.
That's for damn sure.
Come with the heat.
And ready to break down this film. Man, this film's got me more excited than I've been about a movie in a long time. Multiple viewings, you know. I kind of loved it. Ready to geek out about it.
All right, we all are. It's a fucking great movie. It's fun. It's definitely a lot of fun. So right from the beginning, if we should do this chronologically, right? So right from the beginning, it's Constantine and Zatanna, two little magic fucks, having sex, having a good time, and then boom, we're right into like the Earth's about to end and all the Justice League happens. I guess the first scene really we should address is man, some of the savaging that happens in those first 5 minutes of some Jesus.
It's animation masterpieces.
Dude,
I didn't know that DC Warner Brothers had it in them to bring it like this. It's like acknowledging that like grown-ups like us like actually watch this stuff too. Get up. There was one little thing one point I wanted to make with talking with you guys here. Just with the title. In order to pay correct homage to every franchise represented really in that. Because you don't get what you're going to get by just like Justice League Dark. You don't Apokolips War. You don't, from that title, you don't understand like it just everyone's involvement. So I think they should have probably called it the Justice Titans Squad Dark.
Yeah, great point. Great point, Ty.
To give that love, because all of these franchises were given so much love, like they're all at their little bit. I even found myself like, for me, I cared about this Superman iteration more than any of the other ones in the other DC movies. Like,
hell yeah.
For me, it was like the beginning was like Superman not being Superman, like by doing that, going on the offensive like that. And he had to like take that journey through life or whatever to come back to like where he was Superman, even being Superman without his powers. You know what I mean? Like he was still like the most gung ho. Like watching that like character arc and development right there, like that made me, care about that character a lot more than any of the other movies where it's just about like, punch the shit out of somebody or I lose my powers and how do I come back and punch it. It was like there was much more development in this version of Superman.
In a short period of time as well. Yeah. And I think, Ty, you make a great point. And the title could be a little bit misleading because it's not a traditional Justice League Dark team. You have members of that team, but you also have members of Team Titan, as you had mentioned. You also have the Suicide Squad that plays a big part in it.
So much like so many murk scenes and like background. Oh, like that's such and such in the background. And some people got the full motion like murder treatment, and some were just like flashing images, like Aquaman and like Green Lantern just got like the flashing images where you saw the claw through the chest on Nightwing, It was like brutal.
And then you go 2 years in the future, and it's Damian Wayne running the League of Assassins.
Nice, yes.
Where do you go from there? Batman's in the fucking Mobius chair.
Nightwing's in a cage. Like, I tried the Lazarus Pit. It was an epic fail.
Yeah.
And Raven. Oh, let's not talk about the star of the show, Raven.
Oh
wow, I think she was holding it together for the whole.
But that's what I mean. How do you even choose a star between Constantine, Superman?
No,
Raven?
Constantine had the lead, but just Raven being there as part of the Justice League Dark. But she's Teen Titan. So, back to your point again, like, you got Justice League Dark, Teen Titan. If it wasn't for how they changed or how they used her power, there's no way they would have, gotten back to Earth. But again, jumping ahead.
So then you get to the Suicide Squad Fight Club at Bel Rev, right? And this is knocking each other.
I don't see Lois Lane taking out Harley Quinn.
Right.
She's a gymnast. She's not a fighter. I know she's crazy. I think Lois Lane would be. I think Lois Lane takes Muay Thai and capoeira in her spare time for no reason. Just to stay fit. Fit.
No. She's been kicking it with Superman for a few years. She knows she had better up her game a little bit, right?
Well, Superman can't
have been in more than one shitty situation,
Superman can't fight.
It was a convenient plot device, is what it was. It was a very convenient plot device. Let's leave it at that, I think.
So let's go to the next big massacre. Oa.
Right.
Kilowog got his neck broke like 3 times in that part. Like, I've never seen anyone manhandle Kilowog like that. And then
John Stewart,
oh,
extra crispy, sir.
Ty, I wish I could show you my notes because it says John extra crispy right there. He was almost done with the oath, man. He was ready to. He could have got the whole power of the battery through him.
But just Darkseid wasn't having it. Just like
he didn't even look. Did you see the hole he burned from one of the dude's head with his Omega beams? You could see it from the back, and it just came right through.
While he's having a whole other conversation with Batman, you know what I mean? Just,
I told you to leave me alone. I'm having fun.
Yeah. Don't bother me. I'm gonna be in the bathroom jerking off. Don't fucking knock on the door, buddy. I tied a towel on the door. That means don't bother me. All right. So beyond that, once the squads begin their attack, and you just see, man. I wrote a small list of people you see fighting alongside each other. King Shark, Steel, Batwing, Superboy, who's not even mentioned in any of these series, by the way. And suddenly he gets a cameo for 2 seconds. He is a major player like Damian.
You're talking Superboy Prime.
No, I'm talking about Superboy.
That's what I was wondering. Oh, Lucy, interesting point, because that's what I was wondering. Was that Prime? Was that because the costume was more
Superman and Lois's son. They have a series called Super Sons.
But it wasn't. But
it's Damian and John. Jonathan Kent is his name.
That was
the Jonathan Kent.
Because I was like, is that? I knew it wasn't Connor, I guess.
Not Superboy Prime.
No. Oh, come on, man. You don't need to convolute things like that. That was just Superboy. I feel for some reason they never brought him into this. Maybe there will be a Super Sons series. Oh my God. If I ever see one Super Sons animated movie, I will cry 3 times when I watch it. No, it's my favorite thing to read. But I mean, if we're gonna fuck that out and save it for the end. But if you notice, there's one thing that ties all these DC movies together. It's Flashpoint Paradox to here. Is that at the end of Flashpoint Paradox, Batman cries when he gets the letter from his dad, from reality. And in this movie, he cries when Damian's brought back and he hugs him for the first time. So maybe that is the bow on all of this. That's neither here nor there. Lucy, what did you want to say? Sorry.
Well, I mean, a whole bunch, just how good it was. I don't know what time we're jumping in. I think we're post finding out that Darkseid has changed the Justice League into his basically royal guard. So the Justice League Dark has to fight their way into the throne room to get Damian to see Batman and have that conversation with him. And this whole fight scene is just about getting Damian to see his father, to see if he can snap his dad out of it, Batman, long enough so they can, destroy Apocalypse off planet or destroy the planet of Apocalypse. But the real savior here is Raven's father in that dynamic, like, hey, new God versus old God fight about to happen. Trigon versus Darkseid. Old God versus new God. Boom. It went down.
The scene in this movie that gives me chills. First off, seeing like the Wonder Woman, Mira Fury, like fucked upness, you know what I mean? Martian Manhunter. But let me tell you, when Constantine grabs that rope and he's like, "You are Wonder Woman, Herald of Warriors," like,
Nice.
dude, I haven't got chills like that since like fucking Independence Day speech. You know what I mean? Like when you feel it, like I find myself, I keep queuing it up, like when I'm getting ready to start my day, since I've seen the movie, like it's something about it. Like I want to throw on like fucking Dirty's first album. You know what I mean? Like you fucking kick the shit out of somebody. Like it just, you are Wonder Woman, Herald of Warriors, and then,
in that same,
and she comes to as well, and just like, I am Diana of Themyscira, and like, I will not bow. Run it. She like, don't hold this against me, friends. You know what I mean? This ass kicking I'm about to put on you, this ass kicking from Themyscira from way back, I'm about to hit you with, like, that was the dopest pose, which like threw the shield, and like, like caught it back or whatever. Oh yeah.
But also like I just like when Constantine's holding the rope and he gets a sense of the power, and he's like,
old magic.
That old magic, nothing feels like that. I mean, it's like, but it's two-way street. Like it's powerful, but it's two-way, man. So I mean, I guess the next thing we could talk about is when Lex Luthor opens up his kryptonite stash of weapons. After Superman is already wearing the Lex power suit, bro. He's wearing Lex's power suit, and then Lois is like, "You built this to kill him." But it's what he needs to survive, and then
right. Lex was like I had issues.
He still does. It's good, very honest. King Shark with the kryptonite teeth, though. Best
right,
ever.
Right. Absolutely, King Shark is a shark.
So, Batman being the biggest asshole we've seen ever.
In the Mobius chair. Which I don't think most people got. If you're a casual fan, you don't know about the Mobius chair.
No, well, I mean, you shouldn't know about it if you're casual. On purpose. No. It might be in the Snyder cut. Who knows? But he jokes about Zatanna.
What isn't in the Snyder cut?
He jokes about Zatanna to Constantine first. And then he starts ripping Damian a new one.
That's one of the notes I got right here, though, too. The Batman knee to the Damian's forehead. You know what I mean? Like,
and then he headbutts him right after. Oh, my God.
Yeah.
So
the beat down, he was like, in the past, I let you win, but I'm not going to hold back today. Like, I'm going to put that ass on.
Yeah, but then he takes the Omega Beam for his father, man.
Yeah.
Did you see how crispy he looked? He looked like an old piece of dog shit wrapped in a Robin costume. He was so gray and like, oh man, it was well done. I really enjoyed it, and that's when Batman cried again. So I guess the next big scene is Trigon versus Darkseid. Like, what you want to do?
Oof. Old God versus new God.
He mentions that multiple times, which I was really, really excited by, and I don't know why, because they're neither one of them are like gods we read about growing up. But I did like that. I don't even know why is he a new god. Like, what is the old what?
Well, the new gods are all I
never even understood
Jack
that.
Kirby.
Yeah,
that's the Jack Kirby like DC. That's Jack Kirby created the new gods with
the fourth world,
Father and Darkseid, and that.
So basically, Ty, there's like the multiverse, but for some reason, those two worlds of the Apokolips and what's the other one called?
New Genesis.
New Genesis. They are like polar opposites for whatever reason. They were at war forever, but they exist outside of the multiverse. So there's only one dark side. There's only one Orion.
Father.
All those people, there's only one, but they can go in and out the multiverse with boom tubes. That's where boom tubes came from.
Oh,
my bad. I meant to say Super Trigun versus Darkseid because
Super Trigon.
Yeah, because he takes his body over, and when you see that kryptonite melt, and then he puts on that little flame cape.
For the most part, Trigon is mopping the floor up with Darkseid. I mean, there's a little bit of back and forth, but Trigon has the upper hand the entire time. Then looks over at Raven. Thank you for this gift, my daughter. And then they go into an interdimensional portal just to fight for eternity. Right. And that's all Trigon wants. He just wants to be going heads up with somebody that's kind of equal to him.
You know who was the real star of this movie is Batman's intellect. He made Zatanna make the compulsion spell for Constantine in case what he already had planned failed.
It's always Batman. Batman always has backup. Batman always has that backup plan to his backup plan.
Yeah. Let's end it, right? The last scene. Titan's Tower.
The last scene.
Titan Towers. The tease.
Sitting on the beach.
Saddest looking couples I've ever seen in my life on the shore.
Very Empire.
I mean, we can go down any road. But on that note, I guess we just close out, right?
Cool. That was good. Good talk. Good.
Out of 1 out of 10, I would say Jail Dark is a 8 on the recommend scale. Editor, San Antonio, Texas. Out.
Agree 100% with Editor. Good to geek out at a solid 8. Ty?
Thanks for having me, you guys. It's a must watch. You gotta watch it. If you're a DC fan, you know these characters. You don't even have to watch the other movies. Watch it. It's a different sort of ride than your typical comic book movie flair. It really is. It takes into account adults watching, and you can push the button a little bit further.
Amen.